So let's see, if I walk out in the middle of the room, will that help everybody be silent? Otherwise, we'll be here till midnight because we have got a lot to say about the honoree tonight. Yeah, I certainly hope so. Okay, everybody, if I can get you. Okay. All right. That side of the room is nice and quiet. So now we are looking for this side of the room to bring it down. Okay. Hold on, I have to check on one thing here. All right. Well, now you can see one qualification for being Business Person of the Year. You have to be able to silence 100 and something people. So, good evening and welcome to the 29th Business Person of the Year dinner. I want to start by introducing a few of our dignitaries. I'm short enough that I'm going to use this mic. So let me first thank our premier members, Compass, Diablo Foods, thank you, Connie, Douglas Design, Oakland Athletic Club, thank you, Dennis, Mechanics Bank, thank you, Shanna, ParkSmart, and Wells Fargo. And we, of course, want to thank the Lafayette Park Hotel and Nick Boyce for hosting this every year. So we often start with the Boy Scouts leading the pledge, but they weren't able to do it this year. But we have got something just as good. So Joan Brazzoni is going to come up and lead us in the pledge. Yay, Joan. So just before you start chatting again, if I could continue to have your attention, we're here this year to honor the 2019 recipient of the Business Person of the Year, Terry Ring. I have to say, Terry, that I'm blown away that you have this many admirers. It must be your quiet, demure personality that attracts us, like bees to honey. Now it's my privilege to introduce a number of community dignitaries. And by the way, I am Kathy Merchant. I'm the outgoing president of the chamber. I forgot to say that. So tonight's dignitaries, so starting with Teresa Geringer is the district representative for Senator Glazer's office. If you don't mind just standing. I know Teresa's around. Oh, there she is. Okay. And Iris Obregon, who's the representative for Rebecca Bauer-Cahan. Iris is around here somewhere. Cameron Burke, Mayor of Lafayette. Yay. Vice Mayor Mike Anderson is here for City Council. Oh, and Teresa Geringer on City Council. There's. For Lafayette City staff, we have Nirup Srivatsa as interim city manager. And Jeff Heyman, communications director. And this may be the last time we do this, but how could we not also introduce Don Tatson, former mayor? I also have the privilege of introducing former Business People of the Year. And if you just stand up, some of them wear two hats because they've also been president of the chamber. So I will mention that when that's true. So Don Jenkins, former president of the chamber board. Scott Hampton, former president of the chamber board. Dennis Garrison, former president of the chamber. Mike Heller, Wendy and Andy Scheck. Brian Aiello, last year's president of the chamber. Larry Dusan, also a former chamber board president. Larry Blodgett, also former chairman of the board. And believe it or not, Jay Lifson, long before he was executive director, was business person of the year, and before that, president of the Chamber of Commerce. We just knew a good thing when we saw it and never let him out of our sight after that. So now it's really an opportunity for you to have dinner, and we'll get back together again at about 7:45. Thank you. Excuse us, Brian has to say his hellos before we can start. Yeah, that's the privilege of the past president. In a moment, it will be my pleasure to introduce our new mayor. But first, I want to acknowledge our longtime honorary mayor, Ed Stokes, whose memorial service will be on Saturday, February 8th. Friday. I was just checking to see if you were listening. Will be Friday, February 8th at 2 p.m. at St. Mary's Soda Center. What a legacy of affection and community service he leaves, and which the family carries on. So thank you, Connie and Mike, so much. So it's going to be my honor in just a minute to introduce Mayor Cam Burks for the State of the City address. If you've been following his first few weeks in office, you know that this man is everywhere, encouraging community dialogue and feedback. This means that you can feel free anytime to give him a piece of your mind. Actually, Cam is stepping into this role at a time when our town needs healing, and he's off to a great start. Mr. Mayor, you're up.
Thank you, Kathy. That was very, very nice. And I am honored to be here tonight. I've been looking forward to this night for a long time, ever since last year's event. And it was, I think, one of the funnest events. Just the energy in the room is just fantastic. So thanks for having me here tonight. First, I'd like to begin by congratulating Terry. I mean, this is Terry's night, absolutely, 100%. So I think everybody knows Terry's, one of the things that makes Terry who he is the volunteer work he does for the community. And, everything he does benefits our community tremendously. So thank you very much, and congratulations, Terry. And I want to thank the Chamber as well. Fantastic organization, and I've gotten to know many of you on the board. I did get a chance to walk around town a few weekends ago to meet with some businesses, and it was the funnest 2 days I've had in a long time. And a lot of our, sort of the energy around our downtown and the vibrancy around our commerce, certainly enabled by the Chamber of Commerce. I heard just fantastic things about the Chamber from literally every business owner that I met. So thank you very much to the Chamber. So we have a lot to be excited about in Lafayette this year. It's going to be a great year. We're off to an unbelievable start. 30 days into it, it's February already. And a few things, to me, define a city that's in good shape. And I think we're in really good shape. Fiscal strength, a top-notch city staff, which we certainly have, vibrant commerce and excellent public safety, fantastic schools, and an elected city council committed to leading for the people and one that understands accountability. And most importantly, community engagement in the form of public participation. And this participation that we've seen so far this year has been outstanding, and it has enabled already some of the policy that we've voted on and that we've agreed on at the council level. So we need the public participation to continue as it is in a respectful, in a civil, in a constructive way. So we're in great shape with all of these, and I think we're poised for a successful year to make our city even stronger than it is today and last year. There are going to be challenges. I think we're going to face many this year. There are going to be risks, and these risks and challenges will require the city council and the staff, our commissions, the entire community to be very strategic in how we move about our business and how we consider things that are facing the true fabric of our town. And our semi-rural environment, I think, is really at the basis of our value system. And on Monday night, our council set our goals for the year, and we did so in priority. And I think we took a step back this year and looked at creating objectives and strategies that would really kind of serve as the foundation for our community moving forward. So I'd like to talk a little bit, just briefly, about our goals and objectives, because I think it's really, really important. We came up with a sort of a grouping of these that focused on uniting our community and bringing us together. And I think, and that's something that you probably heard me say, and I think it's really something that's important. We've had debate that's been constructive, and we've had debate and disagreements that have not been constructive and that have been alienating in nature over the past year or so. And I think we're on a path now for positivity and in general kindness that really looks good for our future. So first, just briefly on our goals, we all recognize the severe housing crisis in the Bay Area. And we've embraced it as a city. We have done a fantastic job, and our staff has, in trying to solve this problem. And I think our track record really does prove that we've done a fantastic job. But with our semi-rural character in mind, over the past 6 to 10 years, we've enabled the construction of hundreds of new units, with many at affordable rates, downtown, near public transportation, to keep cars off the road, and there's many more in the pipeline. And the future of our downtown looks very, very bright. However, we are facing what I feel is a state legislature and a governor who have indicated and demonstrated a desire to take our local control from us in this space and mandate unreasonable, cookie-cutter approaches that I believe will hurt our community. And I believe this is what I consider, and our council agreed on Monday night, is our number one threat right now facing our city. So our first goal will be to develop a strategy to maintain local control in land use and development matters. And we're going to do so by working together with our surrounding cities, by building coalitions with other cities around the state, by working with our legislators and our advocacy groups, the League of Cities and others, and if we need to, unilaterally through advocacy strategies. And that's something that we're going to be very, very focused on this year. Our second strategic goal is equally as vital: to unify the community, to strengthen our identity, and to establish a solid foundation on which we are going to refresh our general plan. We're going to develop and define the city's core values and corresponding key elements that represent Lafayette's character. And I think we took a big step this week specific to this goal in acquiring almost 20 acres of open space right in the heart of Lafayette. Thank you. So some of you may have heard, we're calling this open space right now the Batwing property. It looks like a bat wing. But it's a fantastic piece of nature that we're going to preserve for generations to come. And we're working with the John Muir Land Trust to do so. So a good example of this goal here is our open space. And I want to just mention our library as well. And this is our 10th anniversary for our Library and Learning Center. And it's a fantastic time. It couldn't come at a better time. And I'm just so pleased at what's in store this year with our library. Our third and final strategic goal really goes to the heart of any community. We need to build greater trust. We need to build greater engagement. We need to build better communication throughout the community. So we're going to develop a comprehensive community transparency and inclusion strategy that really will reach out to everyone in this community to seek feedback and ideas on how to make our city stronger than it is today. In addition to these goals, we agreed to engage on 5 strategic objectives, and I'll just briefly mention these. First, we're going to look at developing a strategy to augment community emergency preparedness, and we're going to really hone in on wildfire planning, and working with Confire, working with different community groups, and working with our police department. This is a major effort we want to undertake and get some work done before fire season hits us. Second, we're going to develop a strategy to broaden our senior community inclusion. Our senior population here in our demographics is growing. Our Senior Services Commission is doing a fantastic job. On February 20th, there'll be a kickoff on the 8 domains of livability. And check the city website. It's going to be a fantastic event that is really going to sort of launch this strategy. Third, we're going to develop a strategy to create and institutionalize holistic city-to-schools collaboration. We've done a great job, I think, as a city working together with our school districts. But we want to step back and see what we can do at a more strategic level. Again, we took a big step in this regard. Our council did 2 meetings ago where we agreed to increase our funding substantially to our crossing guard program run by our districts. So that was a fantastic achievement, I think. And this one very much hits home with this room. We're going to look to develop a strategy to expand support of our local businesses and commerce. Everybody, I think, agrees that the vibrancy of our downtown is critical for our entire community, any dimension or perspective of our community. And what we're going to do as much as possible, we're going to engage with the chamber, and we're going to engage with property owners and employees to do as much as we can in this space. And we look for your help all along the way. Finally, our 5th objective, and this is one that we added sort of at the end on Monday night, and it's a good one. It's a fantastic one that deserves its own space, and that is around traffic congestion and moving to improve mobility throughout the city. And we really, really want to take what we did last year with our congestion reduction study to a new level and look at all areas of Lafayette, not just the downtown. And we're going to do that this year with a lot of energy. So these goals and objectives really do represent the establishment, as I said, of a community-based strategic foundation. And as we do this, we need your input, we need the community's input, It's an exciting time. 2019, I think, is going to yield a lot of positive results for the community for years and years to come. So with that, I'd like to just congratulate Terry again. Thank you to the Chamber, and love Lafayette.
Thanks. Is that on? Yes. Thanks, Cam. And and with that, if I can still have we need about 10 more minutes of your time, or 5 more minutes of your time before we really get at Terry. So hold on. Cam, I think we can now drop new in front of Mayor after that official address, because you are it. So now for a quick review, a year in review for the Chamber as I exit the presidency. It's been a really interesting year to be president of the Chamber. Lafayette has had some political tumult, but also some of our most treasured businesses like Rustic Tavern and Mount Diablo Nursery, formerly Harry's Nursery, for those of us who are longtime people here, closed because of what became known as drive-by ADA lawsuits. And these are when businesses were served with, unannounced, with lawsuits saying that they weren't complying with ADA requirements. So with the closing of business and other businesses being impacted by this, the Chamber stepped up and strongly supporting access to all business services for those with disability challenges, and guided by our permission to promote a positive and healthy business climate, the Chamber decided to educate members on ADA compliance, holding a workshop and publishing a brochure, this particular brochure, that really highlights the main regulations for ADA compliance. This is available in all members of the Chamber. Got it, that's a perk. Copies are available in the Chamber office, even if you're not a member, although of course you should be a member. So to wrap up on a celebratory note, the Chamber teamed with the city to put on a mind-blowing 50th anniversary celebration. That was also the 70th anniversary of the Chamber of Commerce. Hundreds of Lafayette people of all ages attended, with longtime residents sharing their stories and everyone enjoying a fantastic buffet. And who knew you folks eat as much as you do? Because we had to keep reloading the buffet table for double the food order. Finally, the Chamber had the most successful ever Art and Wine Festival, set records for participation in the Res Run. We're thrilled that more and more families are joining, and thanks to the schools and Richard Whitmore over there, the superintendent, who really got the schools to participate. We attracted a growing number of restaurants to participate in the restaurant walk. We again hosted a hilarious Dogtown parade, showing once again that many similarly dressed owners and dogs have a strong family resemblance. We partnered with many local businesses for an amazing evening of downtown trick-or-treat and produced Rock the Plaza every Friday in downtown Lafayette and on Friday evenings in June. And Jay tells me that this year we're going to be celebrating 50 years of Woodstock. Right, Jay? So dinners like this and Citizen of the Year are all events put on by the Chamber. Based on the events that we have held this year, we were able to give $23,000 to LPI and where's Meredith? Over there, and yes. And another $10,000 to 7 other nonprofits. All of these events managed on behalf of the city by the Chamber attract people from other cities to shop and dine at Lafayette businesses. Our new website is now a comprehensive go-to resource for the full array of business and community interests and events. The Chamber not only produces these events on behalf of the city, but we also advocate locally and at the state level to give small businesses a voice at the table. And finally, none of this, and I mean none of this, could be accomplished without our absolutely amazing Chamber staff. As you can imagine, I found Jay and Sarah very difficult to work with. Oh, so not true. Along with Linda and Holly, this is truly a Chamber dream team. Lucky, lucky Lafayette. And now as I leave the podium, it's my final privilege to introduce this year's Chamber President, Christina Alba. We've already become sisters. Christina and her husband Brian are chiropractors and own Rivelet's Chiropractic on 2nd Street in downtown Lafayette. Christina is a high-energy, innovative thinker, and I know we're going to be in for a great year. And if any of you have ever done something crooked, Christina will straighten you out, so to speak. By the way, Christina, because of all the volunteer work Terry does for the Chamber, he has always called me his boss. So I'm not only handing you the presidency, but you are now the boss of that man. And if Terry misbehaves, which he is more than likely to do, just give me a call. Okay, thanks.
It is an honor. Son? Can you all hear me here? Great. So when Kathy Merchant approached me, she said, I have a small favor to ask you. And I said, oh, what is that? You know, can you volunteer for this? Can you be present at this meeting? She said, it's a small thing. Would you consider being the president of the Chamber of Commerce for 2019? And I said, I have to follow in your footsteps? And I said, what's involved in all this? But because of the amazing staff, this job is really fun. It's really amazing. And as I was thinking about what is the vision going to be for this year, I thought of the ideals and values we cherish most as a society. So I would say that the opportunity to give back to our families, our communities, our businesses, ranks high up there. Wouldn't you agree? And who else but Terry embodies this, right? Okay. We desire to live in safer environments, have access to education, and the freedom of expression, which Terry possesses really easily, to be who we are. I'm a child of immigrant parents, so I straddle both the old world and the new world, and it's always been interesting for me to understand different cultures, different perspectives, different paradigms, and different ways of being. And while differences can alienate us, I do believe that they have the power to bind and connect us. And I do agree that this community needs a lot of healing, right? So it is for this reason that the theme Fresher Perspectives came about for the theme for this year's Chamber of Commerce. Woo! So active listening, being a just soundboard of information, and treating one another with respect, civil discourse, and inclusivity can propel us forward. And I think that's what it takes to help keep us fresh, awesome, right? So here's to bridging the gap between the old and new world thinking. Do I have your support on this? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so at this point, I would love for, if I announce your name as the Chamber of Commerce board member, if you could stand up. Let's start with the executive committee. We have John McCormick. Woo-hoo. He serves as our vice president. The illustrious Kathy Merchant. Okay. Brian Aiello. Dennis Garrison. And Shanna Kennedy. Woo-hoo. For our board of directors that are present today, Diane Barbera, Karen Blodgett, Rebecca Haney, a newly elected member, Mike Heller, there he is. Travis Johnson, a newly elected member, Jeremy Steele, Fred Steingraf, also a newly elected member. Notice a lot of them come from the kids' table, the noisy table over there. Yeah. And our advisors, Connie Collier, Nirup Srivatsa, Anna Stevenson, and Jess Welling. And of course, none of this would be possible without amazing chamber staff. Jay Lifson, our executive director. Woo-hoo! Sarah Regan, the event director. Yes, and also Holly and Linda, who couldn't be here today. So thank you. And also Richard Whitmore, superintendent. I almost forgot. Last but not least. Okay, are we ready for our MC? Give it up to Larry Blodgett.
Thank you, Madam President. It's official. Thanks, Christina. All right. Well, this is where the fun really is going to begin. So the youngster table over the back corner. Okay, good. You're still alive. This is pretty impressive. We've got elected official table. We have the roundup table. We got the Rotary tables. We got the family tables. All right. Did I miss any tables? The Brazzoni table. We got that. Anyway, welcome all. So Terry, you ready for this? No, you really don't. So, a little background here. You know, I'm an architect by profession. Yes, I sell floors, that's my living. But I am an architect. And typically architects don't get along well with contractors. Isn't that right, Terry?
No, that's not with me. I'm the exception.
Oh, yes, of course.
Never argue with architects.
Terry and I worked together on the Rotary stage, which took many, many years through the tutelage of people like Dick Holt. I think I was probably the fourth architect of record on the project. And Terry actually stood up and was the low bidder and got the job. He's still recovering from that one. But Terry was actually excellent to work with. I grew up in a construction family, and always like to see things from the perspective of the contractor. You can design it any way you want, but the guy who's got to build it's got to be able to figure it out. And Terry figured it out. There were some changes along the way, but very minor. So let's let the fun begin. So we have a couple proclamations that we would like to have presented to you, Terry. From the district representative from the office of Congressman Mark Desaulniers, we have Brandon Bratcher. And it states, shall I read this, Jay? Very official, got very gold crest on there. Dear Mr. Ring. He doesn't know you very well, does he? On all seriousness now, while I am unable to join you today, I wish to extend my personal congratulations on being named Lafayette's Business Person of the Year. In addition to your success with ring construction, I greatly admire your unwavering commitment to bettering this community. The many hours you have spent volunteering with the Ironman team, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Lafayette Rotary Club have proven to be invaluable contributions to this city. Again, my congratulations on your recognition, and I encourage you to continue to strive for excellence in the years ahead. So no retiring, Terry. You have truly embodied the excellence of our community, and wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Sincerely, Mark Desaulniers. And then we have a joint assembly resolution. Our district representative, Teresa Geringer, for Senator Glazier's office. And we have the representative from Assembly Member Rebecca Bauer-Kahn have their proclamation. Terry, would you please come up?
Iris Obregon. Thank you. Iris Obregon, representing the office of Assembly Member Rebecca Bauer-Kahn. And she sends her regards and joins the community of Lafayette and the Chamber in celebrating the many contributions of Terry King to this community. The King Ring.
You want to know what I named my kids?
King.
Onion, sweat, bathtub, and nose.
I've done congratulations to you and to Iris.
Okay. Oh, we're going to now just go through the whole night of figuring out the other names. O-ring, piston ring. Okay, so I always look at Dennis Garrison so that I keep my comments very short, very brief. As I was saying to Iris, oh, by the way, I'm Teresa Geringer, and right this minute I'm representing Senator Steve Glazer. And this is one of the most important, most privileged tasks that I get to do as a representative of the senator. And even when it's not Terry, but especially because it's Terry. And so we get to come out and we get to recognize all of the people who do incredible things in our communities throughout the Senate District 7. And as Iris said, the senator couldn't be here this evening, but very much wants to recognize and appreciate each and every one of you in this room. But let's face it, it's Terry night. And yes, but very quickly, we do have a resolution, and we won't go through all of the whereases. You just know that it says all of the wonderful things that people are going. Well, actually, maybe we should read it because I think some of the things people are going to say after might not be as nice. But we'll. But this. But the very important thing is that this is a very an honor that is done by the legislature, and it is recognized in perpetuity. It's numbered, and it's actually will be on record for ever and ever, recognizing you for all of your efforts. And then on a personal note, I just want to say one really quick thing, that I'm glad that you have lots and lots of energy, because as I was listening to them as they were introducing the former Marquee Award winners, I noticed that someday you and your sandals will be introduced as a former Marquis Award winner and past president of the chamber. So thank you for everything else that you do.
Well, the other item that was probably not mentioned, but Terry is actually the incoming president of Rotary. So he's going to have that as his moniker as well. So I see a pattern happening here, Terry. So I'm not certain, is representative from our county supervisor, Lori Byers, is she still in the room? No? Okay. So this is from our esteemed supervisor, Candace Anderson. They have given a beautiful proclamation from the Board of Supervisors of Contra Costa County. And there's a whereas, and a whereas, a whereas, and a whereas. So very, very nice. Congratulations. If I were Gail Ukama, I would have this room for an hour. We're not doing that. Rowdy crowd. We got to get him out of here. So I would like to also invite up Mayor Cam Burks, Mayor of Lafayette, to give a proclamation to you as well.
Thank you, Larry. All right, Terry, one more.
Or maybe there's a few others, I'm not sure.
I think we have the nicest one. We have a nice leather portfolio for you. So, I know. A lot of whereases, but again, on behalf of our city council, Vice Mayor Anderson is here, Council Member Geringer, Council Member Stephen Bliss, and Council Member Susan Candell, who are not here tonight, and our interim city manager, Narup Srivatsa, is also here. And Jeff Heyman. On behalf of all of us, congratulations.
Thanks, Cam.
All right, Terry.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You can sit down for a moment, but don't get too relaxed. Because that was all the fun, really nice stuff.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. Be ready. All right. Well, we're going to thank you, presenters, Mayor Burks and Candace Anderson's office, and Glazier's office, and Rebecca Bauer-Kahn. My apologies. I've not yet met her, so thank you. So we have some guest presenters, and we're going to start with myself. Then we'll go to Terry's brother, Dennis. We have good longtime friend, Bill Wallace. We have the daughter, Elizabeth Ring, who has some choice words about her father. And then we'll end up with Jay Lifson. So, Terry, I think it would be appropriate for you to bring a chair, and let's get you properly throned up here. So can we get the man a chair? Come on. Oh, Jay. Oh, good. A tall chair. A tall chair. Thank you, Jay Long. Very good. You know, I asked Terry when he asked me to be the MC for this evening. I said, now you're going to wear your typical garb, right? Sit down, please. Please be comfortable. No, be comfortable.
I want everyone to see I got a new suit.
Okay. So I asked him.
The chair is here so you can see my new shiny shoes. There we go.
I don't even want to think the next time you're going to wear that, Terry. So anyway, I thought you're going to wear your ring construction shirt, your dirty, worn out khakis, and your Tevas, and your cow rugby hat. But he said, no, I'm buying a suit. So here we are. So sit down. But you know, I'm not comfortable like this, so I have to get a little more comfortable. Sarah, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is normally your garb, I think, is it not? Well, part of it.
Several weekends out of the year,
Yeah. So, you know, I was originally going to wear what he would normally wear, but I had to wear the suit, you know, but I want to make you feel comfortable. So my first presentation to you is kind of the equivalent of the Chamber's Oscars for you. So we have a special award for you. I think it's still here. And here we go. Here we have stand-up model. It is posable too, so you can gesture any way you wish. So we have the orange vest. We have the worn-out leathered hat, and we have, of course, the ever omnipresent beer. 4:30 at Roundup every day.
There's 10 people
Right?
tested. I never go to the round.
Oh, okay. So anyway, this is our equivalent of the Oscars. This is Business Person of the Year, Terry Ring, Ring Construction, 2019, complete with glasses, ball cap, and orange vest. So congratulations, Terry. And this one, I believe, is from Travis? From Kyle. Oh, your son who's...
No, Connor's
Connor. Kyle. Okay.
Stand up, Kyle.
Kyle.
Was in the head? No.
Shall we wait? Anyway, this is him. It says Terry Ring, 2019 Lafayette Business Toad of the Year. And it's got a little toad on the emblem there. So you've got some great trophies for your shelf there. So enjoy these. You know, when you're having a bad day, you can say, yeah. Yes, it is. It is totally, yeah, more or less. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to somebody who knows Terry better than anybody. Well, maybe not. But his brother, Dennis Ring. So Dennis, would you please approach the podium? The fabulous Ring brothers.
Uh-oh, poor bear. Bear. Wait a minute. Oh, get up for a picture.
Jeff. Hooray, boys. Good?
No, this is important. Hold on. No, Doug, what do you think? Hello? Oh. Yeah, okay, let me look. He's not here. I promise. He's not here. Okay, all right. That was your parole officer. You might want to go out the back door. Okay.
The reason I got the new suit is you can't really see the ankle bracelet.
We're here all night, folks.
We're here all week.
We've been here our whole lives. I want to say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for recognizing my brother Terry, and I'm honored to be here at the podium to speak a few words on his behalf. The reason I'm here right now with a microphone in my hand is because I received the following text on January 4. I'd like to have you speak 3 minutes, plus or minus, about what a perfect brother I am.
I'm the older, smarter.
All right, we're gonna get there, You're stealing my material. Barry and I could go on for a long time. In fact, it says here 3 minutes. Terry, I thought it was 30 minutes. So you might want to turn the heat up and close the doors in here for a minute. Anyway, my perfect brother, Terry. Or should I say, Terry, Terry, Terry. I do feel compelled to start with the story about what it's like to be Terry's younger brother. For years, whenever he has introduced himself to people who know both of us, his introductory line is invariably, "Hi, I'm Terry Ring, Denny's older, smarter, better-looking brother."
Am I lying?
Yeah, right. Now stop. So don't put. So, and as tempted as I was to launch into a full-throated roast, I've decided uncharacteristically and, of course, temporarily to take the high road for a few minutes and share some insights about this man, because he does deserve some recognition for a few things. And in preparation for the presentation, I went to the Lafayette Chamber of Commerce website, and there's a summary of the mission statement that reads as follows: to promote and maintain a healthy business climate, and to preserve and enhance the quality of life in Lafayette. So, Terry's a native son. He went to Lafayette, Stanley, and Acalanes. I look back on those years as the salad days of childhood in Lafayette. We rode our bikes everywhere. The Brazonis and the Rings were riding our bikes all over the place. Terry would ride his bike to school, to Lafayette School. He'd ride his bike to the Pioneer Market and get butter for our mom. He'd ride his bike to the Park Theater and catch a couple of movies in an afternoon. We used to go visit our friends up and down what we used to call the railroad tracks in those days. What's it called now? Bike trail? All right. That's what it's like. His engagement in commerce in Lafayette started at an early age as a paperboy for the Contra Costa Times, and continued on during high school years as a busboy at Dan's Restaurant, which is now Metro, right? Yeah. So, and again, this table over here was participated hand in hand with everything that we did. In any event, Lafayette, Terry, with all these deep roots here in Lafayette, it made sense for Terry and Iris to raise their family here, and he established Ring Construction. Lafayette is the global headquarters of Ring Construction. And Terry created jobs, he bought supplies, he bought equipment, trained workers, and while he was here in Lafayette, his role in the community blossomed. And there have been many references this evening to his contributions to volunteer work and so forth. If it was a float for the homecoming parade at Acalanes, or the platform that Barry built at the reservoir that was sponsored by the... Yeah. Terry gets all the credit. Terry gets all the credit. Terry is one of the guys who supplies the kind of hospitality that makes Lafayette special. Family gatherings are frequent. Friends and family come over to his house all the time on Birdhaven. And so in addition to promoting commerce, Terry also promotes the quality of life through fellowship and through generosity of time. And, he opens his house frequently to friends and family and very often serves crappy beer, which may or may not be attributable to Connor. We can attribute it to Connor because Connor's not here tonight, so we'll blame Connor on that. Ring Construction was successful. And as is so often the case in a small business, all of the paperwork and the administrative and the payroll becomes, a very heavy burden during the course of the week. And so Terry's wife, Iris, also participated in Ring Construction. I was going to say, at this point, I'd like to embarrass Iris by asking her to stand up so that we can properly acknowledge her. Give us a hand. Come on, Iris. There you go. Yay! Huh? Yeah. All of the family saying she gets a hand just for being married to the guy. It used to be that saying was behind every great man, and I think it's more appropriate today to say beside every great man, there's a great woman, and Iris was critically important. Terry's son Connor worked for Ring Construction during the summers and then for a few years after school, after he finished at Cal. Connor later moved over to an organic candy company in Oakland called Ocho. I would say that Ocho has never had a better employee. And meanwhile, Terry's daughter Elizabeth has been working as a nurse at CPMC, attending to people who need thoughtful and highly skilled medical attention. So your person of the year now represents supportive commerce, fellowship and community, and he's a good family man. Terry suggests that he's retired now, but oddly, he's as busy as ever. He zips around town on his cool electric bike. He grabs lattes at the coffee shop. He likes to take a beer in the evening at the Roundup, as we all heard about this evening. And he's still promoting and supporting local businesses. And again, I think that's the mission and the spirit of what the Chamber of Commerce is all about. So in closing, I'd just like to say I commend the Chamber of Commerce for choosing as Person of the Year Terry Ring, a man I admire greatly, respect highly, and love deeply. Thank you.
I wasn't sure where that was going. I'm glad it ended on a tear-jerking note. At this point, I'd like to welcome up Bill Wallace, longtime friend. Just remember, Bill, you don't have to be quite as kind as his brother.
Well, it's my privilege to give a few remarks about my friend Terry Ring. Honestly, I didn't know you were such a big deal. I mean, I've lived in Lafayette for 20 years. I'm not lifers like a lot of you in here, so it's like, holy cow. You know, Terry says, can you come and talk, you know, maybe 3 to 5 minutes, few remarks. I'm going, oh, what, you know, okay, maybe 10 or 15, 20 people are going to be there? Wow. All right. I know. Well, I'm married to Jill. Many of you know my wife, 40 years. We have a condo in Hawaii, and she's in Hawaii right now, so otherwise she would be here. Yeah. And I've got 3 sons. And Terry has touched all 5 of our lives in some great ways and in some fun ways too. So I'm going to touch on that a little bit. So my first exposure to Terry was really before I even met him. So I was working out at Oakwood, and my son Joey was talking to this guy, and Joey came over to me, and I said, Joey, who's that guy over there? He said, I said, who's that guy over there in the retro gym outfit? Who's that guy over there with the not gym socks on, but like street socks on, kind of short shorts, V-neck shirt with a stain in it? Who's that guy over there? He goes, oh, Dad, that's Connor's dad. That's Mr. Ring. I go, oh, okay. He goes, but Dad, he's a badass. He goes, you just watch him. You watch him. He goes, he'll lift more weight. He'll do more push-ups. He'll do more of everything than any other man in here his age. And he was exactly right. So I'm kind of going, man, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can hang with this guy. And then, once I knew that, I got down and I went into the spin class, got next to Iris, and she kicked my ass in the spin class. So Terry was nice enough, with the assistance of his brother Barry, to hire my son Joey for a summer job. And so, my son, besides learning about hard work, something about tools, construction, low pay, how to drive a Bobcat, also got a course in English with an emphasis on the four-letter word variety. The other thing that was kind of special for him was that when the day was done, there was also a little fitness session doing 12-ounce curls at the end of the day. So, anyway, all kidding aside, the kind of guy that Terry really is, I was talking to my wife the other day, and she goes, only one thing, grad night. She goes, anybody who has ever worked at grad night and knows what happens at grad night knows that that didn't happen without Terry Ring. And so Terry put an addition on my house, on time, on budget, in the dead of the winter, and honestly, you would not know that it wasn't part of the original house. That's how conscientious he was about the work that he did. So, did we get permits? So my oldest son, after he got tired of, living in the city and renting an apartment in the city, said, I'm going to go out and I'm going to look for a place to buy. And so he comes to me and he says, Dad, I found a triplex in Alameda that I want to buy. And he showed me a picture of it, and I'm just going, oh man, this is going to be like, $1 million and then another 250,000 on top of that, and it's going to be a nightmare. So, I don't want to be too discouraging, but I don't have the, I can't really go in there and look and say, okay, this is good or this is bad. So I call my man here to the rescue, and I said, would you mind going over and taking a look at this place for me, and telling me if my son's making a good decision or he's making a big mistake? So Terry, of course, takes time out of his day, goes over, goes through the whole place, calls me, I can't remember, in the middle of the night, 8 o'clock at night, and says, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I think, give him the green light, let him do it. So not only did he do that, he ended up putting in a foundation for my son in his house, and now, my son has a triplex in Alameda that, the rent's $2,000-$3,000 higher a month than his payment, and that's all thanks to Terry Ring right here. Yeah. So, in closing, I do have one request from Mrs. Wallace. She would like to know if you would mind deferring your retirement for one last job We need the downstairs bathroom expanded. Love you, bro.
So, Bill, I have to tell you, you do realize that you're in a whole room full of city officials, and first thing Monday morning, they're going to go to see if you actually went and pulled a permit, or Terry pulled a permit on that one. So you may want to rethink that bathroom remodel.
We pull permits. Thanks, Larry.
No problem, Terry. He brought it up, not me. All righty. Well, it's my pleasure now to invite up Terry's daughter, Elizabeth, who I'm sure will give us greater insight.
All right. So I thought, like Bill, that this was going to be kind of a casual thing. So I am winging it a little bit. If you don't know, my name is Elizabeth. I'm Terry's daughter, one and only. Just
My
kidding,
favorite
Caitlin.
daughter.
Yeah, right? I find this whole idea of Businessman of the Year a little bit ironic, seeing as how he retired in August. I don't really get it. Like, I still don't get it. But to say the least, growing up with Terry was challenging. I was constantly teased, and from hearing Terry scream at the top of his lungs, like he did today, to be quiet at swimming meets, football games, rugby matches, or even just to come home for dinner. One of my very first lessons in business was when I was 4. I remember I either got like a pinwheel or like a free eraser of some sort, and I come running up to my dad being like, "Look, Dad, look what I got for free." I was so excited. He goes, "Beth, nothing in life is free."
So sorry, Daddy.
To say the least, I was quite defeated. I was really sad, and it's stuck in my memory. So my brother Connor, who you heard about, couldn't be here because he decided to quit his job and become a vagabond in Southeast Asia and abandon his brand new wife. But otherwise, he'd probably be making this speech, so I think he owes me a big one. Yeah. He's a better public speaker than I am. So recently, he got married to Caitlin.
Stand up, Caitlin.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-law. Yeah.
Your favorite daughter-in-law.
I'm so proud.
So one of the highlights of their wedding, what was recently, was Dad just handing out all these ring construction hats, all the gear he could, and just being so generous with everything that he had, and the kids just loved it. Like, everybody's been wearing the ring construction gear everywhere. I don't know where this marketing was about 20 years ago, but. But seriously, my dad worked very, very hard. Connor and I both were very blessed to graduate college without any sort of debt. They supported both of us through college, which is such an unheard of thing nowadays, and we're so, so very grateful for that. And then to thank him, what Connor would have said, if he had won the lottery in his public speaking class in college, he would kick my dad out of his house to move him into a retirement home so he could live in the house that Dad built with his own 2 hands. So you have many, many sayings like we've heard today. The ring like an onion, sweat, or what I like to say, diamond ring, but everybody makes fun of me for that. Or if it doesn't exist, if you can't see it, it doesn't exist, like his bald spot. to
I'm gonna have to stay like this for the rest of the night now, aren't I?
he has a very distinct set of swear words that he always says in order. Am I allowed to say them?
No, please don't.
I'm gonna say it because I just want to, and I don't care.
That second martini.
Yeah, I know. It is, God damn it, motherfucker, son of a bitch. Always in that order. Every time. So what his workers used to say when Connor was working with my dad, when he would have a bad day, a lot of them spoke Spanish natively, and so they would say, "It's a mucho goddammit day." Would mean that was a bad day. But mucho goddammit days. Anyways, thank you so much for supporting us and our family through my lifetime. Despite all the teasing that you gave me, you've made me the strong, independent person that I am. Being able to let things roll off a duck's back, like you always used to say.
Water off a duck's back.
Water off a duck's back. Yeah, I'm truly blessed to call you my dad.
Thanks, Kathy.
You know, I've been on the receiving end of those words. A couple times, I'm sure. So,
That's okay. None of the guys at the kids' table back there ever heard it, right?
never heard it. Okay, at this point, as we kind of wind things down a little bit, Jay's making room. Bringing another chair up. Okay. I'd like to introduce our executive director, Jay Lifson. Jay Lifson, executive director. I'm his stunt double to make the presentation. Or actually, you actually have your own little fun words. Okay. I didn't touch it, Jay.
Jerry, hold on to this. We'll need that in just a minute.
Okay.
Hey, good evening, everybody. So good to have you all here for this special date. And I just want to say good evening and thank you for joining us for the Bernstein Bar Mitzvah. Mazel tov, Terry.
Oh, there we go. I wore that to my first communion.
My name is Jay, and my nickname is Munchkin Man, and that will be important in just a moment. Don't worry, we are closing in on the finale here, and we'll listen to Terry explain why he took his pants off at Rotary shortly.
I was hoping that wouldn't come up.
You've all heard about what a great guy Terry is. Now you're going to hear the rest of the story. It is written, ambition is a poor excuse for not having enough sense to be lazy. This has always been conflicting for Terry. He once told me, I'm not lazy, I'm on energy saving mode. He is a practical kind of guy, sort of like this guy MacGyver, a genius at figuring things out, always carries a Swiss Army knife. Great engineering skills, except when it comes to constructing shade structures. But then you sprinkle a little bit of applied physics, and that's Terry. It's pretty incredible. He's very, very resourceful. He's very clever. He was in Diablo Foods the other day, and the lines at the checkout were really long, as I'm sure you've all have happened to you. But the line with the 12 items or less sign was empty. So Kerry works his way over to the short line, and he goes up, and the cashier says, "No, you need to get in the other line." And he said, "No, I don't. My name is Les." So that was good. It was good.
12 items or less. That's me.
How did Terry become Terry? It has to do with the decision one makes in one life. For Terry, it was school in and school out. Cal Poly, DVC, Laney, off to Hawaii to pick pineapples, up to Tahoe to ski and gamble, or was it learn how to be a busboy?
I learned how to be a busboy.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay,
I already
yeah.
knew because I worked here in Lafayette as a busboy, so I applied my hard-earned skills at Lake Tahoe.
Then he started working around the docks and the refineries. Eventually, Terry did graduate from Cal, got a teaching.
Go Bears!
Go Bears! Go Bears! Got his teaching credential, but when he looked at how much he was going to make as a teacher and how much he could make doing those dirty jobs, that's when Terry decided that he'd stick with the construction. I think he went on to build a house and went into the construction business. And 30 years of doing this, he married Iris. He moved back to Lafayette, raised a family, and got involved in the community. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jay.
But this year has been a very busy year for Terry. So let's go ahead and take a look down memory lane here, shall we? Yeah, so remember when we were kids and you could only watch The Wizard of Oz once a year? Yeah. And you might remember that there was the scene when they go to see the wizard and Toto goes and pulls the curtain back, and the person who they think is back there, it's somebody completely different. And Terry's very much like that man behind the curtain. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Terry has been doing so many things for this community behind the scenes. You know, no credit, but always there to give a helping hand to everyone who needs it. Really incredible, Terry. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
So this was the photos in the back were when he was told that you might have noticed back there, and we love the painter's tape. That was Terry. Did you do that?
No,
Yeah,
that
it looks like your work. Okay, so anyway, that was his expression when he found out that he had been named the Business Person of the Year. It was incredible. Terry also had a little affair. He had a little bromance with Buddy this year.
It's been going on for years.
There was the wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. And then, of course, he spends a little bit of time in the fall with the Art and Wine Committee. Yeah. Here's Terry along with his teammates and some of the Iron Men. Here's Terry with this batch of kids, who he's now now that he's retired, he starts taking it out on them now. It's like sheep to slaughter when you're assigned to Terry's detail for cleanup. Go ahead and call that one, Terry. That's that shade structure I was talking about.
It was hot that day.
I know this is Terry's big night, but when I came across this picture, I couldn't pass it up. Now that Terry has retired, you can call Leapfrog for your plumbing needs, and you can get a real plumber this time. Dude, I'm looking for Tom Stack. He said he could get me backstage. There he is. He works hard. Does everyone know about the Red Dragon? Hey, Red Dragon!
Yeah.
This is what Terry drives around town.
I upgraded. I got a pedal assist electric bike.
Mo, any comments on this one? No. But here he is, being a great Rotarian, always there helping, checking out with the kids.
Stealing the candy from the kids.
Yeah, which brings us to one of the next slides here. Well, here's the stage. Has everyone seen the stage that Terry and his crew built? That Larry designed? They're finishing up at the office. Here they are. Okay, well. Let's get to some breaking news, if we can. Now, we had a situation recently that it was, well, what happened was about 2 weeks ago, and this was on a Thursday, just about 11 o'clock in the morning, and we have Rotary at 12 o'clock on Thursdays. This was a pretty serious accident. A van that was delivering marijuana had driven through the Caldecott Tunnel and turned over, a rollover accident, and the pot was spewed all over the freeway. This is a true story, and a lot of us got when we were walking into Rotary, we got the report, and this is what it said. It said, Oakland, California, a marijuana delivery truck crashed on Highway 24, sending marijuana into the road. The single car crash occurred just outside the Caldecott Tunnel near Wilder Road around 11 a.m. The car crashed and turned over on its roof, and a cooler containing marijuana had been thrown all over the road. Witnesses said that a man, white, around 5'10", wearing a Rotary shirt with the name Terry on it, and a Cal rugby hat, got out and picked up the marijuana and drove off. Later, a manhunt was on, and a dragnet was set up around the Oakwood Athletic Club, just a few miles east of where the accident occurred. Basically, what they recommended was residents are advised not to confront the suspect, as he has been known to be self-described as a grumpy old man. And there is a picture, that was taken at the scene. So let's get to this thing about grumpy old men, okay, shall we?
Might as well.
Yeah, you keep on telling us you're a grumpy old man. This is ridiculous. This guy's a grumpy old man. These guys really are grumpy old men. But Terry, you're not a grumpy old man. Now Joan, on the other hand, she can get pretty grumpy. I've been to city council meetings with her. Anyway, Terry, you're delusional. You're a great guy, and we love you. You didn't have to grow up with So, Terry, I think now it's time to present you with the Business Person of the Year Award.
Great.
Let's bring Christina up.
Yeah. Oh, Christina.
To the Lord of the Ring himself.
Yeah.
Let's raise our glasses to Terry Ring.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I got a plaque. Thanks, Christina.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys. Oh, all right.
So Terry, you do get a brief moment to rebuke, but only a minute and a half.
Thank you. Sit down, guys. Sit down. Okay. Well.
He prepared words.
I sort of prepared words. How long is this going to go on? About 15, 30 minutes. Well, you got it down there. Got my cards. Okay. Anyway, I'm better off. I'm better off moving around. If I try and read a speech, I'm more boring than normal. First off, I got to thank. This is not Business Person of the Year. It's Business Persons of the Year. I could not have done anything in ring construction without Iris keeping me out of jail. All the books, all the payroll, all the job logs, the whole thing. Stand up again, Iris. This is your day, too. thank you all for coming. I am honored, I'm humbled, and I'm proud, a bit mystified at this award. I told Jay at one point, yeah, thank you. Who said that? Raise your hand. I'm coming for you. I do this because, well, we'll get to that later. Thank you to the Chamber. Thank you to Jay, to Sarah, to Christina, to Kathy Merchant, who worked me like a rented mule last year. Honest to God. I didn't get away with anything. I'm gonna say if I start to read this, we're gonna go sideways. Oh, City Council, Mike Anderson, thank you. Cam, thanks for being here. Cam Burks, our illustrious mayor, already doing great work. Looking forward to the rest of the year. Okay, we're gonna get to me I gotta own this. I did not think that I would get the award for Business Person of the Year. It was awarded at a Rotary meeting. I was sitting there minding my own business. Dick Holt sat next to me before this was done, looks over at me and says, "Congratulations." I said, "Well, thanks, Dick, for what?" And he goes, "Just because you're a good guy." I said, "God, that's nice of you, Dick." So I'm minding my own business, eating lunch, when I noticed Sarah had come in, Kathy Merchant had come in. Then they started announcing the Business Person of the Year, and I'm minding my own business in the corner, eating my lunch. I'm thinking, this is great. One of the Rotary guys is going to be Business Person of the Year again. Okay, now, just so you guys know that I own this, I printed out a couple of photos. You can pass them around. This is my expression when I first heard what was going on. It's on the wall back there. That's my intelligent, yeah, I'm all over this look on my face. So that was that. Oh, and those photos, by the way, I was bushwhacked by Diane Barbera Delaney. She knew this was coming, sat down there, and snapped off all those photos. So thank you, Diane. Where are you? Wave your hand. Atta girl. I'll never forgive you. Yeah, there's a mix of surprise and anger on there, but that was Jay's one job, was to make sure that this never happened to me, because I'm not a great public speaker. I don't want to get up here and talk to 150 people, even though I really like all of you guys. I really do. I got a couple of things. Whoops, there we go. That I wanted to bring up. Oh, I lost it. Here we go. All right. Bill Wallace talked about his son Joey working with me and that. One of my routines with the kids when they came to my door and knocked on the door and wanted to talk to my son, this is mostly the boys, they would have their pants around their butt, head down, and they'd go, "Just Connor home?" And I would say, "I'm going to slam the door, try it again." I would slam the door on them. They would knock on the door. I say, "Okay, this is what you're going to do. You put your hand out, you look me in the eye, and you say, 'Nice to see you, Mr. Ring. Is Connor home tonight?'" And I would shake their hand and make them look me in the eye. That's how I dealt with Joey Wallace and all of that crowd. One of the Rotary guys, what else? Do I have any other Oh, wait, you know what I wanted to spill? There's the story of me taking off my pants at a Rotary meeting. It is the truth. Mo can attest to that. It's okay, Beth. So I'm going to tell you the story. One of the guys in Rotary held up a little sheet of paper that said, "Nordstrom is selling pre-mudded pants to the tech millennial crowd so they look like me for $481 a pair." And I thought, okay, I got up in front of the club and said, "Boys, these are genuine stained contractor khakis, and I'm gonna let them go for half the price." So I did the runway walk. And one of the other guys in Rotary piped up and said, Terry, we'll give you $5 for those. I said, no way. I said, and Dennis Garrison, who's here tonight, said, Terry didn't say $5. He said $200, half price. He whips out $200 bills, slaps them on the table, and says, I want those pants. It would seem I sort of painted myself into a corner. It's $200 for Rotary, and we support all kinds of stuff around here. The schools, music, all that. I can't pass that up. So that's the story behind the story. It wasn't like, hey, Terry, take your pants off. That didn't happen. It's for the kids. Anyway. No, stop it. These are my brand new suit pants. They're not coming off for any price. No. No, we're not doing that. No, Iris and Beth would never, ever forgive me. And Caitlin would hold it over my head forever. Anyway, again, I'm just going to wrap this up pretty quick. I understand that the Blodgett crowd was behind or sort of a driving force in me getting this award. Thank you, Larry. That's why I made you MC. No good deed ever goes unpunished. One of the Rotary guys asked me, we were doing Art and Wine, and it was, Sunday night. It's 10 o'clock. We're all exhausted, as many of us here know. It was earlier in the day. He said, well, Terry, why do you do that? Are you a masochist? Do you not like yourself? What's going on? Do you have something you're penitent for? And I said, no. The reason I do it is Lafayette is a good community. I really like Lafayette. Now my pronunciation is under attack. When I grew up, it was Lafayette. It's a good community, but for a community like this to work, it takes more than just government. It takes volunteers, it takes a good business community, it takes a strong city council, it takes a good chamber of commerce, it takes a good citizenry. And I am proud to be a member of that. I'm proud to contribute, and just having you guys here for this means the world to me. Thanks very much. I'm still not done. The other thing is during a lot of this of what, I'm not up here.
Terry, they just towed your car.
Did they? I'm waiting for the guy with the hook. Yeah, right, give it a rest. Well, now you made me lose my train of thought. I'm going to be up here for another 10 minutes. It's a lot of it. I didn't get this award because of my spectacular business acumen. That would probably go to my brother Denny and any number of other gentlemen and ladies in this room. It's because I like volunteering. I like participating in the community. I like being a part of all this. And during Art and Wine and the Res Run and things like that, I'm not in charge. I'm a volunteer. So I get to misbehave and blame Jay and Sarah, and I get away with it. That's all I got. Thanks all of you for coming. Thank you so much.
I think so. Terry. I have one final remark before I'll hand it over to our new Chamber of Commerce president. Terry, the group, the organization Cars for Kids, they brought you a car. Okay? They saw the red dragon and said, this man needs a car. Right, Bill Ridings? Anyway, Christina, I'll let you finish it out.
Another round of applause for Terry. Woo! Yes. To Terry and his sandals. So I'm going to keep it pretty brief. Drive home safely. Go home.